Hello everyone, welcome to week 34. Today I am standing behind a beautiful ocean, and the reason for that is I just want you to remind something that imagine this ocean is very calm today. It's a bit cold, but it's very calm today. And imagine one day this ocean gets so rough and become big waves and just come into the house that you live in. Imagine that happens. That has happened in some countries, but imagine that happens to most of us, most of the countries in the world, because of our own action. Right now our focus has been just making money and maintaining our power in wherever we have holding power. And when all the leaders and all the humans who are responsible to maintain the balance in the nature are only focused about power and wealth and money, and because of the same reasons, imagine one day this beautiful ocean becomes so huge, so rough, and come into the houses that you live in. It may be not happening today, but most of the activists, climate activists, and so many scientists are telling that in soon future, in nearby future, that is something, it can happen because of the carbon that we are emitting to the nature, and most of that carbon is absorbed by the oceans, and in most of the oceans are getting heat up, and also the oxygen levels in the oceans are going down. And they say roughly in 2080 or in 2100 there can be effects of what we are doing right now, because after 1997 a lot of carbon has emitted, released to the nature. Why? Because fossil fuels are the main energy resource that we are using right now in the world, and that is what people are fighting for, and that is what people need to maintain in the world as their energy resource. But most of the people are moving towards electricity, but even the electric cars were there long time ago in the world. People built those cars, but most of our own humans in this earth didn't want that electric cars to go through people, to be in our society, because some people wanted fossil fuels, some people wanted to become oil as the main energy resource in the world, because that's the only way that they could have maintained their wealth to themselves and to their next generation. And even right now we're still using oil, we're still using fossil fuels. I don't have the perfect answer for alternative energy instead of fossil fuels, but what I believe is humans have the capability to think, focus, and create much more better alternative energy resources. Imagine what carbon fossil fuels is fossil fuels is something that in underneath the ground, right? So basically the bodies of humans or animals who are buried underneath, and simply we are getting those energies out and use it and again release it to the nature. Those are buried for some reason. It is true that we can use this as a fuel or energy resource to use in our societies, to run our economy or run our society. But is that the only way, only energy resource that we can use? There can be many more, and it is time for us to think and focus and find alternative energy. If you think about the reason why so many countries are fighting for, because they want to own the routes that energy, the oil is flowing. They want to trade the main energy resource, the oil, in their own currency. They want to maintain that power Imagine what we are doing to ourselves for our next generations. 2080, 2100 is not too long in the near future. Not too long in the future. It is in the near future. Most of us might live up to 2080, and for sure our children, the next generation, will see 2100, or even your grandparents will see 2100. So what kind of a world that you want to leave behind for your children, for your grandchildren? So many people are realizing what is really happening in the world, how the people with power or money influence the society, influence the way we are living in. In social media, I see so many people going, like, thinking about creating communities where they can live sustainably, that they are looking for alternative education that give to their children. They looking for alternative food that they can create, produce themselves in order to feed their children. Because most of the time in very complex societies, complex cities, we give poison, so much chemicals for our children. As the education we just give a long time ago, 100 years old education for our children. Those education is simply designed to create workers for their factories. Those education is not created, designed to build critical thinking citizens. The education system is not built, not designed to build creative humans. And this our technology that we are using, the technology can be good, but the social media, those things are created. They say it's created for connection, to connect between people in all over the world. That can be true, even I believe that. But imagine now the endless reels and information. Imagine how much can that affects our way of living. Imagine how much it affects our mood. Then our mood can affect how we live with each other, how we live among each other in our families, in our nearby close circles. I see so many young people, they can't just stay for few minutes without doing anything. Their head always go to their phone and just keep scrolling, keep looking at Instagram, Facebook, TikTok, YouTube, so many, Pinterest, so many social media. There are good and bad. But how can we create people who only can absorb the good in them? How can we make sure the next generation is absorbing the good information or something? How can they divide the line? How can they choose this is good and this is bad? How can they manage their own dopamines to stop endless scrolling? How it affects their attention span? Is that what we are here to just scroll down all the time? Even I am doing that. I am tired of it. But sometimes to use the good in the social media, you have to use the social media. But if you are not strong enough inside, it's sometimes hard to choose the good in social media and leave the bad side of it. But maybe that is the beauty of this world. There are good and there are bad. Sometimes this ocean can be your enemy. It has happened in the history. But right now, it is your friend. Some people come to look at the ocean and make themselves calm. That's the same reason why I am here as well. To go away for a weekend, stay close to the beach and get yourself away from that busy lifestyle and make yourself calm. It makes yourself calm because it is calm right now. But imagine one day it gets rough. Will it still make you calm? Or when that coming towards you, would you run or would you just stay here looking at it and feel the calmness? But humans forget that this nature, this calmness in the nature exists until we maintain the balance of this nature. Because in the end, we are nature. We don't know why we are here. We just born here, and we try to figure out why we are here, why we learn everything, what we are doing here. But the only truth is we are here, and we are conscious, we are breathing humans. That is a simple truth, and we are part of nature. Even though we can consciously think that is our gift, we can choose to do whatever we want to do, but the first few years you learn from your surrounding without you even knowing. You learn what you have heard, you learn from what you have seen, you learn from what you have experienced. If you grown in a village, you only know what those villagers know. But if there's a TV in your room, you learn so much from your TV. But do you know who provide those information to the TV? What we know about the intention of the people who are showing on the TV. They can show anything in whatever intention they want, but we are just sitting in front of the TV and absorbing all that information, thinking this is what we might need. We might need entertainment to entertain ourselves. That is the life. If we are just watching all the news and the program that TV shows us, we might start to believe that this is what we should do. We just work, come home, watch TV, sleep, repeat. And that's what our parents did, because when the television come into the society, they didn't know what to do with it. They just bought it because that's something new. They can just watch something. People are playing soccer, playing basketball, playing cricket. We can see on the news. And we can see what is happening in the world. We can see people speaking on stages. So our parents got addicted to it, just like we are just addicted to social media today. Our parents just sit in front of TV and watch all the dramas. They watch all the news. Whatever they keep repeating in the news, they just absorb it. And we, our generation is living in the next phase of that technology. Now we are over with mainstream media, television. We don't watch television anymore much now. We just have a device in our hand and we just continuously scrolling, endless scrolling. That is the norm of our generation. But our previous generation, our parents, they were only exposed to media, televisions and radio. And that's what shaped their mindset. And right now, what shapes the mindset of young people, our generation, is social media. And in social media, there is information, misinformation. We can just look for information within minutes. We can just read one thing and in the next moment read totally opposite thing, and we might be overwhelmed with so much information. And whoever still have money, they can sponsor ad, they can show you whatever they want you to show you through their money. So if we don't understand how media works, how they can shape your reality, shape your ideologies from the money they have, if we can't draw the line between critical thinking and absorbing everything unconsciously, imagine the future we might be living in. Right now, so many ways there are to make money, right? If you have money somehow, you can just live your life to the fullest. You don't have to think about your neighbor, you don't have to think about anyone. You just make money, just go to a vacation house, you can fly all over the world, you can buy whatever you want, drive sports cars. You can live your life until you die. But is that why we are here? To experience all those luxury things and just die? Even if you have a luxury car, you will soon dissolve that experience of new. For anything that you buy with money, that feeling of you have something will stay for some only very short period of time. Because another truth in this world is nothing exists forever. Everything is changing. Whatever your mindset you have, whatever pleasure that you give to your mind, everything is changing over time, that you can't stop it. So even if from now social media and everywhere, what we reward is more money. People who have more money, they invite those people to the media and we listen to their story, how they did it, how they achieved that great heights of making $1 billion, how they achieved that great heights of making $1 trillion. And our next generation is absorbing, wow, this billionaire have so much money that they can do whatever they want, they can buy whatever they want. And now our next generation is growing up thinking that making money is the only thing that you can do, the best thing you can do in this world. They grow up thinking that when you have millions of money, you can live your life to the fullest, and that is the ultimate purpose of life. And that's the message most of the young people getting when we reward more millionaires and billionaires in the media. And when more and more young people wants to make more and more money, they are still feeding the same cycle, the same system. And in the future, whatever you do, there will be a system to make money, because everyone wants to make money, more and more money. And people can think, they will think about the slightest loophole they can make money, and they will not care about the environment. They will not care about the effect that we emit to the nature, because from our actions there will be millions of young people who will do anything just to make money. And when we are unconscious about how we are living in this nature, we will just destroy our nature. And the more and more people start to destroy our nature in order to make money, what will happen to these oceans? They will still stay calm, or they will start reacting. And that is the future we are evolving right now. That is the future we are evolving towards right now. And we don't understand it until that ocean comes here. Because until it comes here, we think everything is fine, and we just keep continuing our survival, our way of living, right? And the same system, same economies that we humans have built just to survive on this earth. And all those economies, all those currencies, all those systems are made by human who was born without knowing anything at one time. Just like you and me, we didn't born with knowing anything. We were born as babies, we didn't know anything. And even these systems, these houses, everything created by humans who were born without knowing anything. And it's the same cycle we are repeating. These lands have so many owners over millions of years. The same land that you are trying to buy, it had so many owners. And one day, another person will buy the same land that you are living. And you might not know, because there were so many advanced civilizations on this earth before you, and they were not here right now. They all destroyed by the same nature that we are destroying today. And we have lost the focus about the nature. We have forgotten that we are part of nature, because that's not what we are taught. That's not the education that we were given when we are young. The education we are given is to work and make money, make more and more money. If you can't make money in your own country, go to another country which can make money and make more and more money, so you can buy a house, you can live your life freely. But you will die one day. And most of the things exist, most of the things people do because it generates money to some individual. If you see war or anything, building projects or whatever you see in the media or whatever that leaders want to do, they are doing it because it generates some money for some individual, some human on this earth. That is the truth. And they want to keep doing that because they have survival instincts. They want to keep money flowing into their account for them to survive. They don't know how much money they might need, so money doesn't have an end. It is infinite. So with the inflation as well, you don't know how much millions, billions you want. So you just keep making money. You don't know how much your children needs money. So you make millions, billions. That's because of our gene. Our genes are created for survival. Each and every human's gene have a something called selfish gene. It always try to survive. Long ago you might have heard that the strongest human survive, but now not the strongest one survive. Now who survives is the one who have lot of money. That is because of the survival gene. And when humans are run from the survival gene, we are not conscious about that we are part of the nature, and we are not conscious about each and every human being here on this earth has a soul or energy just like you and me. We forget that we are all here to experience life and for some eternal purpose, and we all have forgotten that we are not our body, but the genes in our body are trying to survive. For that survival, as humans, our energy is run through fear, and that fear for survival is running our world. That fear for survival, people, the humans, are the ones who are influencing the way we are living right now. Their way of living, their way of what they believe is true. But the real truth is, everything we know right now can be truth until we get to know a better truth. Because everything in the world is changing. And imagine when oil producers, the CEOs of oil companies, they have grew up learning how to sell oil and make money, right? But when they realize that oil can be dangerous to nature, there can be much more alternative energy resources in the world if we really focus, and we can find it, but they don't want to change because they are so fear of survival. They know if they change it, if they say out loud that there can be many more energy resources in the world, we can survive, we can provide for ourselves instead of those fossil fuels. Some people who are making money from those fossil fuels, they might go broke. So it is not good for their survival. What will their selfish gene will do when they realize that their money will not flow into their account like the last month because of people are turning towards alternative energy resources? So their selfish gene doesn't want to act differently. They fear change, and that is why we keep repeating the same cycle, because we are afraid of changing, we are afraid of thinking, focusing and create much better systems, because they are not becoming conscious. But if you align with nature, if you become conscious, you will realize that this earth that you are born into will provide you everything you need to survive in this world. If you align with nature, you might absorb so many beliefs from your childhood, because first 20 years in your life is not your choice to learn what you want to learn. It is your environment. With you liking or not, from the environment you are born, you just absorb whatever it is there for the first 20 years. And it is the beliefs of people who were born before you. Even those people also born without knowing anything. And they just tell it to us. They just pour those knowledge, information into us, believing they are giving the best knowledge that exists in the world. That may be their thinking, that may be true at that moment. But as humans, they should also teach that each and every truth can be a truth until you get to know a better truth. And what we must teach our next generation is to think for themselves, to understand for themselves, not to absorb whatever that we have given, to think for themselves, to critically think. That is how we evolve. That is how we maintain the balance with nature. If we don't do that, just like every great civilization in the history, our civilization also will disappear one day and there will be unknown people, unknown species. Who knows? You won't hear for a long time. Unknown people, unknown religions, unknown ethnicities compared to today will live in your land and they will call those land for themselves. And that is the simple truth. We are not the owners. They are not the owners. There are no owners. What is truth is this ocean will stay somewhere in the world. These trees might stay more than you live on this earth. That is the truth. And it is time to make the good use of social media, the technology our ancestors have created, contributed. They put their time and effort to build these technologies, build these cameras and internet and everything we have today. And we are so lucky to be connected as one earth, one humanity. Our parents didn't have this luxury. They were just shown whatever some people want them to see. But now we have the ability to think critically. We have the ability to verify various sources, various information in the world. We have the ability to talk with various people in the world and confirm the information and have a conversation and come into an understanding. That is the golden time. This is the golden time in our civilization. We can see what is happening. We can see how people act with fear of survival. We can see that. We can see that and we can create alternative ways. If humans can create these cars, rockets, engines, submarines, ships, we can think and focus and create much better alternative energy sources. We can think and create much better systems for us to survive. If some people are acting to keep their power in the world because of their survival gene, survival fear for survival, we can build them alternative ways for them to survive. We can think all the humans are as one part of big family, because wherever you live, you have mouth, ears, nose, same mind, the same mechanism within you. And in the end, you are not your body, you just leave your body here. And we all are energy. And we all are connected somehow. As the tiniest particle in this universe, we are connected. But right now, in here, we were divided into religions, ethnicities, colors, so many various things that you can label. And even those labels also manufactured by our ancestors, we humans. And it is time to come into that understanding and think as one. Think as one humanity, think as one energy. And the same energy needs some systems for us to survive, for this body to survive on this earth. That is why we have all these systems. Otherwise, why? So we create those systems. We distribute the energy sources in the world just to provide our basic needs for these bodies. Because the purpose of humans, what we can do, what we are here to do, we can do that. We can focus about that only when this body is survived, only when body is pampered, only when we are well fed and safe enough to sleep. And when we create those systems for all the humans in the world, then we can really think about why humans are here. What is the best possible thing we can learn on this earth? What is the best thing we can do? If energy cannot be created or destroyed, this our own energy can be reborn as in another body. As for Newton, if every action has reaction, whatever we are doing, there might be consequences. Every intention we have, every word we spread out to this universe, there can be consequences. It is proven in physics by Newton. In his third law, every action has reaction. So every cause has effect. Whatever we do for the nature, either animals or humans or trees, the intention that we carry out by doing those can have consequences, and those same intentions can be the fuel for this energy to keep flowing. And whatever you will do here will not satisfy you. Whatever amount of cars you buy will not satisfy you. Whatever beautiful houses you buy, money, gold will not satisfy you. So we have to think what will satisfy us. The people on this earth, the humans on this earth can think about that when they have proper systems to provide the basic need for themselves. So the first step is for us to create much better systems for us to survive here, to provide our basic needs, food, water, shelter, and be safe. And when we do that, then we can think or learn about what will satisfy on this earth as humans and why we are here. What is the best thing we can learn? But for that, first, we need to survive. We need our bodies to survive. And for that, we need leaders who can think about better ways to distribute energy and resources in the world. And for that, you need to understand this. And your neighbor, the people around you, have to understand this. When everyone, most of us come into understanding, then we can elect leaders who prioritize millions of people before they prioritize their wealth, their houses, their titles, their beliefs. When we elect humans who can prioritize millions of people and think and focus and create systems, then they will do that and people will support them. Then when we are well fed, when we have proper system to provide our basic needs, resources, then we can sit down, relax and think about why we are here, what will satisfy us as humans. Thank you.